Hello, 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 and welcome to What's the Tea with Gen X, Y, and Z. We are three generations, three perspectives, but one cup of truth. So get ready for a refreshing take on hot button topics because we're going to be brewing up a steaming hot take on today's most pressing issues. But we're going to dish on everything from social justice to pop culture. And we'll do that with humor, honesty, and maybe just a little healthy debate. So stay tuned with us while we sip the tea, spill the honest truth, and then find common ground across the generational gap. This show is guaranteed to what? Stir the pot. So, welcome again from the wonderful, exhilarating, extra Dr. Melissa. I'm representing the X generation. And I told them I was going to say, recently I turned 55 years old. Mm-hmm. So, double nickels, or you could just call me a dime.
Hey, that's a bar. Okay, I like it.
Okay, anyway, I'm sorry. I'm Dr. Melissa, representing the X Factor.
And hey, y'all, I am Amber, holding it down for us millennials.
And I'm Zion, as always, keeping it real for Generation Z.
Keeping it real. Listen, y'all, we're real excited about today's topic. But before we delve into that, I have to apologize to my X generation because during the last show, our Zier, Zion, threw out a phrase that I'm quite sure many of my Xers didn't know what the ham sandwich he was talking about. And the reason why is because I really don't know what the ham sandwich he was talking about. So I think the term was called rage baiting.
Yes, that was
Sir,
the term.
can you please educate us on that?
Well, it's in its name, so it's just like it's someone trying to provoke a reaction from you. So it's when someone goes out their way to say something that you know is irritating, just to provoke a reaction out of you. Oh. And they get satisfaction once they get that reaction from you. Oh. I'm a rage baiter. Oh. I've been rage baited in my past a couple times.
Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you. Because when you were explaining and defining it, I was thinking to myself, as the mother of 4 children, I have been rage baited to death.
You know, the funny thing is, if you go on TikTok, like a lot of people's moms are actually the rage baiter.
Oh goodness. Mm-hmm. What about your mom?
I'm just telling y'all about what I saw on TikTok.
As you sit so closely.
I'm just telling y'all what I saw on TikTok, man.
Tread lightly.
I don't gotta stand it.
Hey, listen, but I tell you what's not gonna happen is nothing's gonna happen on camera because I'm smart enough to know that
you're not going to get rage baited on camera. There you go.
I'm not going to respond to your comment by touching you in a motherly way on camera. Anyway.
Motherly way.
So listen, you guys, today we want to talk about something. I'm going to tell you, we hear this all the time. Let's keep it real, right? Mm-hmm. Let's keep it real. I'm going to keep it a buck. I'm going to keep it a stack. Mm-hmm. All that. I'm going to keep it 1,000. All of that, right? And I'm going to tell you fundamentally, and I can speak for the 3 of us, we're pretty much people who really value honesty, right? Like we have that integrity.
Yes, absolutely.
But today I want to talk about what happens when keeping it real becomes really, really tough or complicated.
Yes,
it's a possibility,
because people say I keep it 1,000. I'm straight. You ask me a question, I'm gonna give you the answer, right? We hear that all the time. But I'm gonna start with a scenario that I want you guys to be thinking about as well. Mm-hmm. I want my co-host to chime in.
Oh, we're going to chime in.
Oh, they're going to chime in.
Don't make it a hard one.
Well, let's say you have a friend, and this person has been your friend since way back when. Okay. I mean, like you are like thick as thieves, right? Grew up in diapers. And this friend has a partner in a committed long-term relationship. And you learn that partner is being unfaithful to your friend.
I love it. I mean, I don't love that's happening, but I love it.
And I'm talking about like straight unfaithful. I'm not talking about a oops. I'm talking about like dirty. Oh, just dirty, right? Now, here's the thing. I'm going to add something else to this pot. So I want to know: would you tell your friend that their partner is being unfaithful? But here's the kicker. You know that this friend does not play about their partner.
Right.
So in other words, you being their friend, you have seen them go off because people try to suggest that maybe their relationship has issues or, you know, so
having to defend it off.
Oh yeah, they do not play about their relationship. Let me talk to my honest people. what do we do?
Tell them.
You want? Okay, I was about to say you want to go first. All right, go ahead. Start off strong.
Listen. I am big on loyalty, okay? My loyalty doesn't reside with your man. My loyalty resides with my friend. And 9 times out of 10, sometimes, and I'm just gonna be real, and I'm not trying to seem cocky or anything. How it's been in the past with some people, it's been some men that's had googly eyes where they shouldn't have been in the first place, and I might have already had to check them. So for sure, if I find something out on the outside, I'm definitely telling my friend, because first of all, why you out here embarrassing my friend like that? Like, do you not have no integrity or no loyalty? And then generally what happens, they don't like when something is done back to them. They get out here.
It's a lot of hypocrisy. A lot of hypocrisy.
Just so why do it to the other person, right? But I'm telling it.
So Amber's telling. She gonna tell that.
I'm telling it.
Zion?
Oh.
Well, like now, see, and the reason why it's dependent on the situation, right? It's dependent on the friend. Now, I had homies in the past that like they girl be walking with a whole nother dude in school, and that would get reported back to the homie. They like, nah, man, not my shorty. Never be my shorty. Now, them type of brothers, you know what? I'm gonna just mind my business.
Yeah, they naive.
Because I'm talking to a brick wall.
Yeah.
But if it's like a homie that I like, he knows that I have his best interest in heart.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell, because I would want someone, if I'm getting done like that, I would want someone to tell me.
Yeah, exactly.
So what we're talking about is the quality of the relationship.
It is.
That is true.
It is.
Yeah.
That's a factor.
I will say, I've been on this earth at least 21 years, plus 34.
You did say age.
I've done it both times. I've done it both ways. I have learned information about something going on in the relationship, and in my exuberance, thinking that my friend really wants to know.
Right.
Yeah.
I have gone to friends that maybe we weren't like thick as thieves, but I felt this responsibility to let you know what was going on, and got cursed out.
Yeah, nah.
Like accused of you trying to break us up, and you might want him, or you jealous. All of that. I've had that happen. And then by contrast, I've had, friends that were receptive because
we tight.
The strength of my relationship. They knew my integrity.
Yeah, they knew you as a
person.
See,
if I don't know them like that, if we kind of like more like acquaintances, I'm gonna mind my business. Because maybe cheating is a normal thing in your relationship. I don't know.
Or maybe that person, maybe they already know it. They just
embarrassed. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm gonna just mind my business. Because we ain't tight like that. I don't know the level of your relationship, man. Maybe that's a normal thing, man. Maybe you drive her to clubs, you wait outside.
Exactly.
I don't know. You feel me?
No, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. I do think it depends on the type of relationship or friendship you have with that person and how long.
Yeah, facts.
Because that person really got to know you.
Facts.
Like, if I know that I done had this friend for 15 plus years, and I know they're not gonna lie to me for no reason, especially like that, and they genuinely want to see me happy. Ain't no way I'm gonna fuss them out and cuss them out. Like, you better pack your bags and go. Get out. She ain't got no reason to lie.
Unless, like you said, sometimes people know. We know, but we don't, and we're more embarrassed because other people know.
No.
Yeah,
it's not
true.
Even that we don't know what's happening.
So you're gonna deny
We're just mad that people know. Now, but here's the thing. So, did y'all hear the same thing I just heard? So we're saying that honesty is optional. We could tell the truth, or we might
not.
You
only
tell the
do
truth.
it when it's convenient. That's the question.
When do you tell the truth?
That's the tough thing, because we talk about being honest, and I'm telling you, it's a noble concept that we all try to live up to.
Right.
But this show is about asking yourself those tough questions, because I talk to a lot of people that would say, "Oh, I'm honest.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna," and it's like, okay, yeah, but are you saying across the board always?
Right. Yeah.
So like when the phone call come and they say, "Can I speak to you?" You go, "She not here." she's not available. Right. So let's parse that out a little bit. So with respect to that, it depends on the quality of the relationship.
Yeah,
right, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like, I got a question. Like, when y'all think about honesty, what's the thought process behind that? Because I know for me personally, right, when I'm honest. I don't want to say when it's convenient to me. I'm honest when it benefits people. Sometimes I'm not gonna lie, when it benefits myself, sometimes too. You know, so like for example, I don't know if I would be honest if it doesn't benefit you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's when I'm typically honest.
No, that's true.
It has to be productive in my mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I would if I'm being dishonest.
Yeah.
It would definitely not be in a way that is hurting you. I never want to intentionally hurt anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
But what I'm also not gonna do is hurt myself.
Exactly.
So you call me and be like, "Hey, cuz, can I borrow $20 or $30 I pay you back on Thursday?" That's one of the moments where I'm not about to hurt myself in my pockets, okay? Because I already know what you want to do with that $25.
We got to go back to that enabling episode. Y'all, listen, y'all get hip to it now.
That part right there, that is absolutely
episodes.
me enabling. And now look, that's me hurting me. I just said I'm not gonna hurt me.
You ain't trying to hurt my pocket.
That part right there.
All
so
right.
I do think it depends on. I don't want to hurt nobody.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say it's, well, yes, it is to my advantage. I was about to lie.
It's dependent on the situation. Like every situation is variable. It's every situation is unique.
Yes,
so it's different action.
See, I'm gonna be the I hate to say devil's advocate because I'm not trying to be the devil, but let me be the fly in the buttermilk. That's what we say in the country. Let me be the fly in the buttermilk. And what that means is, if there's a fly in your buttermilk, obviously it's a problem, right? Okay, right. So the concept, and I want you guys to understand, there's no absolute with this. Right. And I will tell you that I struggle with this as well. So when I'm throwing these things out, Dr. Melissa is not throwing this out as if Dr. Melissa don't struggle with these very same things. Right. But when we talk about we don't tell the truth to their benefit, I'm not sure I understand that concept. Because I would say part of that still might be to our benefit. For instance, if there's something that you know about somebody, and years ago I used to work with elementary kids, right? And I ran a bullying program. Yeah. And there was these were third graders, y'all, but they were brutal. They're grown now, I'm sure, because this was years ago. And one little kid in the third grade, he was the bully of that entire school, right? Yeah. And it was probably because he was not supposed to be in the third grade. Oh. He had been in the third grade like 3 or 4 times. Oh. So he wasn't supposed to be in the third grade.
That was a big kid, boy.
That was a big kid. And this one kid came into the classroom, and obviously he had gone to the barber to get cut, and they had skipped him. And so those of you who don't know, it's like so he had a bald spot. Like the barber, they skipped him. Yeah. Now, obviously, it's not a thing that can be done. He skipped. And until that hair grow in, that's going to be the case. And this one kid that was the bully was like, yo, you got skipped. Yo. And like he drew all of this attention, right? Brutally honest, because it wasn't like we all didn't see that there was something going on there. And I remember saying to him, I said, oh, you got a haircut? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, all right.
You know what to say else?
Did not know what to say. Yeah. Other than you got skipped. But this young man wanted to say it, right? Here was my thing. I didn't want to say it to the young man, right? Here was when I say to your benefit, because I thought you can't put that patch of hair back. Right. So telling him that he got skipped has no benefits because we can't put it back. Right. Right. So of course that's for him. But the other thing was, it was for me because I had this discomfort of looking at the condition of what had happened with his hair, and it was jarring. I mean, it was so much that I did a double take. Am I better than the young man who said it was skipped? Because I didn't say it was skipped when obviously it was skipped.
Yeah, no.
I think you could also benefit the person though. I don't think they necessarily have to be mutually exclusive. Like for example, we go back to that cheating example, right? You want to tell your homie because you want your homie to be in a better situation, but you're also selfish a little bit too because you think you can fix the situation. But in your mind, you do create this scenario where you create a better situation for them once you tell them, and then they don't have to worry about their partner cheating on them anymore. So I don't think they necessarily have to be mutually exclusive. I think you can benefit yourself, your own little selfish reasons sometimes, but in your mind, because you really are trying to look out for that person. In my mind,
but it's a self-preservation because you don't want them to be mad at you, or you don't want them to go off on you. Or sometimes
It
we
depends
say,
on the person.
let me mind my business, it's
Yeah.
because I don't want those kind of problems.
Yeah, that's your
Yeah.
benefit for sure.
Right.
Absolutely.
I think in
I
that
think
situation,
every situation is just
different.
it's different. It's a different thought process, a different intention, and it can benefit both or none or one. Yeah.
Yeah, and you just sometimes you got to be okay with being the bad guy, or like in that situation, I honestly, I don't even know how I would have handled that situation. Like I think you handled that situation the best that you
Bomb a
could
hat.
have.
Bomb a hat. Bomb a hat. I was thinking about you today, so I got your favorite team, the New York Knicks.
Now I'm sure that kid was smart enough to
wear a
know
hat in
what you
school.
was.
I mean, listen, maybe I can talk to the principal for his behalf. Come on now, extenuating circumstances, something.
But see, my thing is, I don't sometimes know how to say things.
Oh no, you.
So that's why I'm also.
That's me expressing my honesty.
We both be honest.
But y'all both.
There are times, Amber.
This is for your benefit.
Yes, it is. Amber, sometimes you say things and it I'm like, oh, she didn't feel to that at all. Amen.
I'm having a self-aware moment, and they just
accountability.
And sometimes she said it's like, and I'm like, ooh. We had a situation this week where she sent out an email. Ooh. Listen, I'm glad I couldn't see the person's face when they read the email because it was like so much so, y'all, and she was absolutely right. Let me just tell you, she was absolutely right. She was within her scope as a leader. She was absolutely right. And she wasn't intentionally mean, but she was very to the point. Listen, y'all, I felt so bad that I emailed back and just started talking about it again in a different way.
Right.
Because I was like, ooh, let me just try to
she massaged it for sure.
Because there was a bullet hole. I was like, she right now she's losing blood.
She's losing blood.
I had to bring her back.
And I can say, like, I'm happy now to be able to say that's something that I'm more knowledgeable about.
For sure.
So some things, it may perceive that I'm being dishonest because I know in the back of my mind, I don't know how to say it. So I'm like, you'd rather say it and it come across absolutely not how you're intending it to be, or just don't say anything at all so it doesn't come across in a negative way.
The facts.
You know what I'm saying? And they already think you being funny, and they like, I don't want to hear what you saying.
See, I like to do just enough to get my point across. Like I don't want to do too much. Typically, I don't always. No, I'll bring that up. We'll get to that at a later time. But you gave me a little look. I was like, you're right. I like to give just enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how to give an example. Like, I want to do just enough without going all the way down the rabbit hole, where you know how I feel, but you don't need to know to the extent of mine.
Now, how? It's hard to even do that.
So here's what I love.
You can.
What you just did, what Zion just did was outed himself. Y'all, those of y'all with the mama look, have you ever had the situation where you didn't have to say a word and you just looked at your kid a certain way, and then they'd be like, "Well, actually," and you'd be like, and you don't really know if they're saying something that's not true, but if you give them that look like.
That's why I say typically because
they're quickly correct themselves.
There's some times I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes, man, I went ahead and just straight cap. I did.
Oh, you was cap.
Cap means what?
I'm sorry.
Capping your rap.
I forgot we got some X and wires up here. My bad.
Oh,
my bad. Cap means lying. Like I straight up lied.
We came up with that. Don't sit here and try to call me and then use our word.
Y'all came up with cap.
We came up with cap.
I don't know.
What year? You know how many songs? You know how many songs?
What year?
Listen, don't.
What year?
You about to try to make me lie. You about to try to make me lie. You about to try to make me lie.
Give me a time period.
He's trying to make me lie.
Give me a time period.
So we're capping about capping.
See, he's about to try to make me lie.
I don't know. Listen.
He's about to try to make me lie, and I'm going to sit here and say, hey, I can't recall.
You got to understand, you're a younger wire, though. So I feel like there might be some wires in older Zers who kind of like coincide a little bit with that. Because you can't tell me it's someone who's like 35, 36.
No, about capping.
They do not. They can't say we created that.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely so. You're not going to say that.
No. Y'all don't have it. There's nothing for me to take.
Guess what, y'all in the community that are in the age range of 30 and 35.
I can't take something that you don't have possession of.
That we formulated and created. Okay, the word cap.
We're just lying now. Where's the honesty?
Can I say something?
We are being honest.
Can I say something?
Yes, I'm sorry.
And I'm just going to talk to the exes. First of all, I'm going to say who cares. And the only reason I'm going to say that is that what does cap even mean? If you go back to how did you come up with cap for lying. So we say the crib,
That's a great
back in
question.
our days, crib was because we said home
For
and
sure,
where you
for sure.
slept. Like the things that we said made sense. I don't understand, and they cannot explain. I don't care what I
Don't
wouldn't.
make
The
all
cat
that.
on
With
the
you,
top.
But
I
crib
wouldn't be
don't
trying to
make all
own
the
it.
way sense.
I
though.
would be trying to pass it off to another generation. I wouldn't own that I came up with cap because cap.
Containment. You know the cap on the bottle? You close it so you contain what's inside the bottle. So
Which is a
instead of
lie.
Yeah, how's that coordinate? Oh, see,
And the fact
my
that she
thing is
tried.
accountability.
Oh my
accountability.
God, she
accountability.
tried.
I'm gonna
She
be
tried,
honest.
y'all.
But at the same time, crib don't make sense for no older. You a grown man and talking about I'm going back to my crib.
That's
What
where I
kind of
sleep.
sense that
That's
makes?
where I sleep.
But that's where a baby sleeps. So now you a grown man talking about
Baby
you gonna
boy.
where a baby sleeps.
Baby boy.
Oh, so Jody,
Baby
everybody, Jody, your role model, we got problems.
Explain cap.
we do got problems.
If
Jody
Jody
is
is
our role model.
that boy riding the bike over there using your back car. No, man.
He was cheating in Yvette car too.
He was.
He
Did anybody tell the truth? No. Did anybody tell?
Boy got
all
punched
she
out
did
by
was
Snoop Dogg,
all she
man.
did was waited for the other one to get out.
And see, I didn't intend for this
Snoop
to
got
turn
out, boy.
It was a
Okay,
wrap.
So now we're getting ready to do a whole baby.
Put a
boy.
hole
that
in the
wasn't
couch.
the intention, y'all. All I was saying was their argument about who came up
Little
with cap,
Jody.
as if this was some kind of deep philosophy, as if this was some kind of witty invention, and it's not. I would be embarrassed to say I came up with cap, but that's neither here nor
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
So we're talking about honesty, and all I'm going to say is, based on our conversation right now,
Yes.
I just want to get some confirmation that honesty is optional.
It is.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Ideally, you would want it to be absolute, like you said, but
Yeah.
I think everyone could agree that they would use honesty all the time.
It's situational.
It is situational.
That just is what it is. And
It
if
is.
that makes us liars because we have to disseminate when we have to tell the truth, amen.
But
And
we're
we all
human
liars.
beings. We're inconsistent. So, I mean, we just got to own up to that.
All humans are liars then, if that is the case. Okay?
All humans have
And we
lied.
just got to embrace it.
My dear audience, I'm going to apologize that you were just called liars.
We got to
Yeah,
embrace
look.
it.
But I'm gonna be honest with you. Is it true? I mean, listen, we're sipping the tea.
Yeah.
And spilling the honest
listen,
truth.
I said that's what we say: sip the tea
Mhm.
and tell the honest truth.
Yeah.
Which means sometimes that might be hard to admit
Mhm.
because I'll know as a parent, we'll tell our kids, you're not supposed to lie. And there was a
Yep.
situation years ago when they were doing like the census.
Yep.
You know, back in the day, they used to come around to your house and they had
Worse.
this, worrisome. They would
Yep.
say how many people live in your house and all of that. And my oldest son, who's now like 31, at the time he might have been like 7 or 8. And the census man had come before and we had said we were busy. So we looked out, the doorbell rang, it was the census man. We're like, oh Lord, it's the census man, right? So me and his father, we ran
Yeah.
to the back and we said to him, you're not supposed to teach people. But we said to him, hey, go answer the door, tell the man we're not here. And my son went to the door and he said, hi, my mom and dad is in the back and they told me to tell you that they're not here.
No way. For real?
He did.
Oh, that's census man.
Hello,
boy.
Day Day. Yes, he did. And so and we're in the back like, oh my God. Do you know for a moment we were mad that he didn't lie effectively?
Right.
Like when I think about them, like, my God, we got to teach him how to lie better. Like,
But do we really?
we don't exactly
Yeah.
because we had been teaching about being honest. You know,
We all do it because sometimes we do it off the fly. Like for example, like last week I had got the groceries and all that, and I put it in the crib and all that, and my
in the
wife.
crib.
I never said. Listen, doesn't make sense. No, but I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use it. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think none of the slang terms make sense.
Go
Yeah.
ahead. proceed.
Anyway, so
Pick
yeah,
it up.
so we, she told me to take the chicken out. The morning before, she told me to take the chicken out. And so she texted me 4 hours later and she said, hey, did you take the chicken out? That's what I said. I said, I took the chicken out.
But did you really take the
And
chicken
then,
out?
so as I said,
Oh,
yeah, I
you
took the
went-
chicken out, then I went to go take the chicken out. I'm just
ain't right.
saying.
It's still
I'm not the
unthought.
only brother that done that. I know.
No,
It's
you're
still
not.
a
It's
thought
called
time.
happy life, happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
So you're learning very
Yeah,
quickly.
yeah,
So that's
yeah,
good.
yeah.
So listen, you guys, we're going to go ahead and take this break. Listen, don't go anywhere. Come back. Don't lie to us and tell us
Don't do
that
it.
you're going to be here, and then you go do something that's going to take 30 minutes, and then you go, oh my God, I forgot the
Because
rest
we'll
of
pull
the
up
show.
to your door like the census man.
Ah.
We'll do it.
So
And you better
listen,
be there.
grab your tea, go take a potty break, come right on back. We'll be back in just a few seconds.
Catch the wave of success with Standing on Business with Dr. Melissa. Unlock your purpose, align it with your entrepreneurial spirit, and witness your business thrive. This isn't just about authenticity, it's about building a foundation so solid, your business becomes synonymous with profitability. Tune in as we delve into marketing strategies that work and create an empire that stands on business. Because when purpose meets strategy, success is inevitable. Standing on Business with Dr. Melissa, where authenticity meets profitability.
Welcome back, you guys, to What's the Tea with Gen X, Y, and Z. We have been talking about keeping it real or not, right? We're talking about honesty, and is it an absolute? And we're challenging ourselves as well as the audience when we stand on that principle and say, "I'm an honest person."
Yes.
And I understand we're not liars because we're not always honest.
Right.
Maybe
Right.
I don't know. We'll talk about that in another show, but we're talking about situations that causes us to maybe not be as forthcoming as we need to be. Now, before the break, we talked about the whole scenario of somebody cheating. Your friend
Yes.
has a partner that's cheating and all that. And I think that the comeback was good. Like if we really talked about the quality of the relationship. Like if you're not that close, maybe you don't tell that person because you're all up in their business and you don't need to be. And plus, they don't know you like that to trust you.
Right.
So, I get that. That one, to be honest with you, seems to be more, it's more common sense, right?
Mhm.
Let me throw another fly in the boat.
Mm.
Let's talk about a
That
situation where, y'all don't judge me. And I'm not a mean person. I'm just throwing some stuff out there to have us think about.
'Cause it happens.
Okay, it happens. Let's talk about if somebody has an ugly baby.
Oh, boy.
Somebody says all babies are cute. Yeah, all babies are cute in a baby sense of the word.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about like,
Babies are
I'm saying if
blessings.
the babies are blessings. Like, okay, I'm not gonna say baby's ugly or the outfit is ugly. Let me do that because I feel
Ooh.
better.
Maybe the baby's appearance should surprise you.
Maybe it surprised me. I've been in situations where, and generally, you're not the baby looker speaker. You don't need to.
Yeah.
You don't need to commentate on how the baby
Right,
look
right.
unless you're asked. It's like
Yeah.
that. My friend that shows up, like we're getting ready to go out, and the outfit is like, whoa, but ugly. Does not fit where we're going, your body, what we're doing, nothing. Like you look at the outfit and you're like, whoa, I don't know if we can go out like this, right?
No, it was
I have had situations like that, depending on the quality of the friendship. If I'm super close, where I have that relationship, I'm like, sis,
That ain't the one.
let's try. Come on, let's go figure something else out.
Yeah.
And if I have that relationship, they trust me with that, and they
Right.
would do the
Right.
same with me.
Yeah.
I've had situations where I didn't have that relationship, and someone
Right.
came out. Here's my thing:
Mhm.
if you don't ask, I don't tell.
Because people get offended easy if we
Yes.
don't have that level of,
They
you know what I'm
do.
saying?
Yes.
Level of
So if you
relationship.
come out and the outfit is like, if you don't say anything, I'm like, hey, you ready to go? But if you come out and say,
Mhm.
come on there, this is the part with the truth.
Uh-huh.
Girl, how does this look? What do you think?
You asking for it.
You
Yes,
asked
you are.
me a question.
So
I'm
now
gonna
I
give you
gotta
an answer.
answer
I'm
it.
gonna be respectful enough to give you an answer. That's
Yeah.
me.
How
being
would you
kind.
answer to that?
Yeah.
Is someone's outfit?
Yes.
Oh, let Amber answer that first.
But that's what I'm saying. If
I'm gonna let
you
Amber
know
do
that they're going to be talked
Yeah.
about wherever they go. Because, I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
I'm not talking about just a fashion taste. I'm talking
Mhm.
about this is dead wrong.
Yeah. Well, let me first say this. I think I'm so much more grateful now for the friendships that I have.
For sure.
Because I didn't told some of my friends that, hey, that's not working together. And they didn't get offended. I think you just have to know me as an individual. You know I don't mean any harm, but I'm also gonna tell you the truth. That's why I think sometimes people don't call me.
Yeah.
Because they might not want the brutally honest truth. Right. But if we're about to go somewhere and I know maybe it's a thing or maybe the type of setting it is, the environment, the kind of people we're about to be around, and let's say it's more classy, upscale. Generally, you go like on a gray scale, black scale, things of that sort, and you come up in here looking like the colors of the rainbow.
Love it.
I'm gonna say, hey, go on and try that again, because this ain't you can't go out with me like that. You might can go out with somebody else like that, but I'm not gonna let you do that.
What if it's somebody you don't have a strong relationship with?
Exactly. There's multiple answers to this. That's
now, if it's somebody I don't have a strong relationship with, I may say, hey, how you feel about your outfit? Do you like your outfit? This is if they ask me.
Oh, role play. Yes, I do.
Okay, well, hey, let's go.
So you're not being honest.
No, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna try to find a way to wiggle out of that. I'm like, my babies. My mom just texted me. My babies is not feeling well. I'm gonna have to
Another lie.
Yes, I'm gonna
Dang,
get another lie.
we just racking them up.
I'm gonna say another lie to get me out of
Stack
the
on
first
stack
lie.
on stack on
lie,
stack.
Yeah, That's why I said, y'all,
Yeah.
we all might be liars. It's
So,
okay.
how would you handle that?
Man, like I said, there's multiple answers. So like, okay.
You
All
really
right.
don't know.
No, I do know. It's just it's all about I'm very intentional with my words.
Gotcha.
I try to phrase things in a very precise way.
Amen.
If these are my homies, I'm like, dog, I don't think that's the one. I'm gonna be straight up. I'm gonna be straight up because
Exactly.
that's our dynamic,
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
right? That's me understand our dynamic. Now, if it's some random brother, maybe it's someone I ain't seen since high school, whatever, and we're at an event together, right? Now, if a brother say, "Oh, hey man, I messed with your outfit," I'm just not gonna say it back. But if he asks me, and I'm gonna be like I always start off me personally. That ain't for me. That ain't my cup of tea. But brother, if that's your style, that's your style.
Right.
So you see what I mean when I give just enough.
Yeah.
I give just enough. So I'm telling you, I don't like it, but I'm not bashing your outfit at the same time.
That may give them a second to
that
think
ain't
about
me.
I like that. So you know
They
what?
might think about it after you say that.
Because
So-
people self-conscious. So if I say your outfit trash, they gonna be at the event frowning the whole time. Don't
might not
go off
even
my
go.
word. Shoot, I ain't
Yeah.
Lady Gaga. I mean,
They might
you know
just
what I'm
turn
saying?
around.
Is Lady Gaga, she fashionable?
I don't know.
She wore meat to the
Hey,
VMAs
listen.
one year.
Amen.
Look, she did a commercial song by camera, so she know everything.
Yeah.
Shout out Kanye. All right,
There we
y'all.
go. Amen. Well, there we have it. Yeah. So okay. So yes, I would say for me, kind of what you guys are saying. I would go middle of the road. There are people that if I'm really close to them, I'll be like,
Kick the
I
butt.
don't think
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
it.
kick the butt.
But if it's somebody that I don't have that relationship with, my thing is to say, well, we just have different styles.
Right,
Yeah.
And
facts,
I have my
facts.
own distinct style.
Facts.
So for me, that's something a little different.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but now, can you take it? So if you came out and you thought you were
Ah.
looking good,
And
Right,
somebody,
and somebody was like,
get offended from that.
That's not it, Amber. But try again.
it depends on who it is because we got some people that's some haters out here. You know what I'm
Amen.
saying?
That's facts. That's facts.
Now,
That is facts.
if it was an outfit I was even questionable about,
But not that your question. You came out thought you were looking good.
You gotta trust their sense of fashion too, though. Like if you someone who wear t-shirts in a ball
and you
cap
telling
every
me
day,
that this
yeah, you
ain't,
can't tell me about my
I
outfit.
might just fry you up.
But if
because
it's
I'm
someone but if someone that got to they know how to dress and stuff, you might have
Yeah.
you might have to just take that one on the chin. Accountability.
yeah, I might have to go look in the mirror and be like,
Accountability.
I mean, so what part of, you know what I'm saying, try to disseminate my outfit, but like what part, you know what I'm saying? But if it's somebody that come out looking like Reynolds Rap
No, I ain't
and
taking
sit here trying to tell me
that. I ain't taking
how
that.
to dress, no,
If Smith can't tell LeBron James how to play basketball,
that part
you know
right
what I'm
there.
saying? You can't do it.
Here's what's amazing. And y'all saw how I did that. I just because
Facts.
because it's different when it's us.
No, it is.
Right? And
Yeah.
I would say, listen, when I say I'm so much a part of this conversation that it's so joyful to me
Right.
because it's like, because honestly, I consider myself a fashionable person. So if I came out with an outfit and somebody go, that's not it, I'd be like, baby, you just don't understand because I'm always it. Like I don't
That part right
because
there.
I
Yes.
feel like and plus I feel like I dress for me. And
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
dress
facts.
for anybody
Anybody
else.
else.
Facts.
And
That's facts. That's
however
facts.
you want to look is however you want
To
to
each
look.
their own,
Yeah.
you know.
So okay,
But what if it is an outfit you felt questionable about?
if I felt questionable
If I
about
felt
it,
questioned about it too,
here's
yeah.
the thing about me.
Take that
I'm
one on.
honest enough. I'll come out and say I'm questionable. Hey
Yeah.
y'all, what do you think about this?
Uh-huh.
Because I'm not sure. That means I'm open to feedback.
Feedback.
To
Yep.
criticism,
That's how I
yeah.
am too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, now don't get me wrong, Dr. Melissa, I have missed a couple times.
Oh, you
Not
sure?
many, but there have been a couple times
You
that
doing,
it's
you
been
doing.
like, even I know I'm like, I'm not quite sure if this is gonna make it.
That's
So
what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
way
We can
better.
be questionable, but questionable doesn't always happen for us. Now, if you're trying to make it seem like we always questionable, then baby, that means you probably can't dress. You might need to question your wardrobe and your tastings and your likes. Okay, don't come over here.
okay, so
We good over
did you
here.
feel the energy? So
I felt
so
it.
we're talking honesty.
It was heavy.
And we're talking about honesty with people around us and people that we care about.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna button this up, y'all, with some. Y'all know at the end I'm gonna give you some good sage wisdom. You know that's what I'm gonna do. But I'm gonna throw something else out there. The friend with the stinky breath.
Yes, let's get into the examples. Because what I want to know what y'all would do. Because I feel like I'm feeling a little judgment right now. Like, we're getting judged a little bit.
We
So I
probably are.
want to know, what would y'all do? So let me, if I may, I want to
Please
start.
take the floor.
Do your thing.
So there was a let's just say the situation was hypothetical.
Yes.
Read between the lines. All right. Now there was a hypothetical situation where I had two homies, and we was at an event, and one of those homies was trying to talk to one of those girls, and so I won't around. So one homie noticed that the other homie's breath won't really fresh, it won't minty. You can tell they probably didn't have
It was another TY, but not.
They didn't have that Listerine that morning, And so I asked the homie that noticed. I said, "So what you do? Did you tell him, like, before he went up to the girl? Did you tell him, like, his breath won't? You know what I'm saying?" He said, "Nah, man, I just let him rock." Because I guess his thing was, if you don't got no gum, you don't got no mouthwash, you don't got no Tic Tacs, what you gonna do? I mean, you just gonna tell the homie's breath stinking, then it's just like, that's gonna kill his confidence.
Listen, if you don't, then the whoever he was trying to talk to gonna kill it.
But this is like a person you might never see again. So it's like, it's here and never. It's now or never.
Might is a strong word.
It is, but I'm telling you, 8 billion people on the planet, man.
I'm gonna say this right here,
And the ones you think
and
you
I'm
might not
speaking
see,
to
you see.
anybody who may run into me. For the people that care about me, if I'm not fresh, if I'm not minty, but I'm the other TY,
Yeah.
right? It ends with a TY and it's not minty.
Gotcha. Yes.
If I'm that, and Dr. Melissa should never be that. Now, honestly, come on now. But let's say I ate some onions or listen, the people around me, if you know that my breath is hot and you don't say a word and you allow me to walk through my day all up in people's faces,
that's facts.
Talking,
that's facts.
It's not about confidence.
Yeah.
I can go do something about it, but here I am walking up into people.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, I'm Dr. Melissa.
Now,
would you like to be coached?
Now, disclaimer. I said the other homie did that. That's not something I would do. I'm the friend. I keep gum on me.
So you be like,
you just gonna slide it.
I'm a helpful bro. I'm gonna just be like, I'm gonna dap him up, and when I dap him up, a piece of gum gonna be.
Whoa. But I'm gonna tell you, I had a friend before that I did that didn't catch the hint. So I was handing her a stick of gum, and she's like,
no, you gotta catch the man.
No, she didn't catch the hint. I handed it to her because she was hot, and I was like, and she was like, no, thank you. And I was like, no. She was like, no, I'm good. And I was like, no.
Yo,
you're not.
They
good.
be wanting you to go outright and say it. Like, do I gotta spell it out for you? Do I really have to do it? Why are you making me do this right now?
See, this is one of those things again, y'all, that I have to be cognizant of how I say things.
Yes, for sure.
Because you will brutally hurt somebody's feelings if you tell them they got some stink breath.
You do. People don't take that well. They really don't.
But
they really don't.
Listen, I think it's one of them things, like, I think your homeboy should have told him. Because, even though in that moment he might not see that individual again, he having several more conversations with hot breath. Yeah, where people that might be from here or from somewhere he is, and the breath is. So there does need to be a huddle afterwards to say, hey man, so I'm gonna let you know, because she might not notice and we might get the number. Right. Now I ain't gonna tell you what actually happened because it won't the scenario I just named. But we could have a timeout after the break and just be like, hey man, your breath is kicking. My breath was kicking.
Or maybe a gentler way.
No,
your breath was kicking.
No, my homies, I'm gonna say your breath was kicking. If you my homie, I'm gonna say your breath was kicking.
So here's the thing. Baby. So when we talk about this, though, now we get back to, is that lack of honesty for them or for us? And that situation is for you. Facts. You don't want to put yourself out there to say something that might be uncomfortable.
Exactly.
It's not for them. Because it's not. The benefit to them is to say, hey, because listen, you don't get a second chance to make a first impression.
Yes.
So once. And y'all know, once a person has experienced you in that kind of way, that's how they describe you. It'll be like, oh, the one with the stinky breath. And it's like, no,
it's hard to break
maybe your breath was stinky one time. Mm-hmm. Y'all, everybody can have a stinky breath moment. I'm not, but you can. Yeah. And so when we talk about,
I spell my breath because
I choose some gum.
I would trust y'all to let me know if I'm sitting at this table. Y'all, but this is the thing. And Zion said it, he said it so rightly. What would you do? We're throwing this out there. The scenarios may be different. Like your scenario, may be different.
Mm-hmm.
How do you navigate that?
Right.
Yeah.
Right? How do you navigate that?
It's not always easy in all situations. Now,
No, it's not.
I may seem like it might be easy for me because I just say whatever's on my mind, and that's just how I've always operated. Now, it has been some situations where I was very hesitant.
Yeah.
Now, in this one particular one that I'm going to give this example about, I was brutally honest. I didn't sugarcoat it for nobody because I would hope that nobody sugarcoated for me. So my cousin brought, his girlfriend to the family reunion. Now, let me add this in. Mind you, this is a new girlfriend. Okay, we have a family reunion every other year, and this was another one that
I'm sorry, you ain't even gonna censor this, are you? Go ahead, keep going.
That is censored.
Oh, all right.
That is censored.
No hypotheticals here.
No hypotheticals here.
You know how many cousins I got that do that?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Well, there you go.
See,
There you go.
Uh-huh,
Okay,
yeah.
there you go. There you go.
So yeah, he brought it to the family reunion, and I had to introduce myself. Let me add that in there. He was very rude.
Red flag. Red flag.
Very red flag. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Gotta
So
put it to the side. Like that. Yeah.
So I introduced myself. I said, "Hi, I'm Amber. I'm such and such favorite cousin because I am his favorite cousin." And I said, "Hey, how long y'all been together?" It's like 2 months.
Wait.
I was like, said 2 months. It's like, okay, well, I'm gonna see if you make it to 6 months. Call me, you know what I'm saying? If you do or if you don't. And you let me know if where you are right now in 2 months, everything is happy go lucky. Oh, he's amazing. But I know him too. So
Honeymoon,
I'm just like
that honeymoon stage, man.
the honeymoon, yes.
Yeah,
But
honeymoon
his most honeymoon stages sometimes be like a year. His honeymoon
Some can.
His honeymoon stages
Usually they're like 4 to 6 though.
His honeymoon stages be like 2 to 3. So
Yeah,
she
that's
was
tough.
she was almost about it. That's why I said, hey,
You like
6
looking at
months.
this like,
And wait, so you're the favorite. So you're his favorite cousin.
Yes.
Ain't a lot of censorship going on. Now we
You
narrowing down the list.
No,
now we
no,
unless you not being honest and you just telling everybody. Okay.
No, I got a lot of cousins and I'm their favorite.
Okay, I'm about to say.
I got like 5 favorite cousins, so they're gonna have to disseminate which is which. But anywho, I was brutally honest.
Audience, can I tell you? I got a feeling, and she's a sweetheart. I got a feeling that she wouldn't care if you did figure it out.
I don't.
I know. That's what I'm messing with.
I don't. But what I'm basically saying, y'all, is I was honest with her. You know what I'm saying? Because
I love it.
I would want someone if for my boyfriend, if I'm going into his family, and what people already say is mamas and sisters, you don't get cool with them because they're gonna always side with the son and the brother. Even though this is wishful thinking, I don't think it will ever happen because that's just how the tone has been set. I would want somebody to be brutally honest with me.
For
I
sure.
would want you to tell me, hey, tread lightly because
For sure.
you know why you this girlfriend and why the others didn't last, and that will give me a a good flag where I just need to bow out now.
It's a perspective. Here's what I'm gonna say as we round this out. This is first of all, this is
I love it.
I love it.
Delightful.
I'm going to say I want those of you that are watching to go ahead and jump in the community, the What's the Tea with Gen X, Y, and Z community, and give us your perspective on this. Like, I would want to know what you think about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I'm going to say, because we can't leave this just, it's comical and we're throwing out scenarios, but here's the thing. When we talk about honesty, and I think each of us aspire to be as truthful and honest as possible.
For sure.
But one of the things you said earlier, we're human.
Yep.
So we have to give ourselves space and grace for those moments where we struggle.
Yep.
Sometimes we're struggling because we really don't want to hurt that other person.
Right.
Yeah.
And if we can't fix the situation, we tend to have to balance that out. Like, is it beneficial?
Right.
It takes me to something I used to teach my clients years ago when I worked in the therapy field, was the think model. And so the wisdom behind that is, before you say anything, think. T, is it thoughtful? Is it H, honest? Is it I, intelligent? That eliminates your 4-letter words. Here's the big one. N, is it necessary?
That's
right? And then K, is it kind? So when we get to necessary, when I talked about the 3rd grader, this is what I said to him when he talked about the little boy with the plug in his head. When I pulled him to the side, and I had taught them about the think model, and he said, Miss Melissa, I did think, thoughtful. I did think about it. It was thoughtful. H, it is honest. you know he's got a plug in his head. I'm like, yeah, I know. That's a bald spot. Yes, that's honest.
Yeah.
Intelligent. I used my words. I didn't use a bad word. When he got to N, I waited. I said, please expound on N. Necessary. He's like, was that necessary? Was it necessary for you to highlight the fact that he had a bald spot in his head? Like, are you the hair police? Like, did it make his day better? Did it change the trajectory of anything that was happening with him?
Yeah.
Was it necessary to speak on that?
Yeah.
He could not make the case for necessary.
Yeah.
I'm going to say for any of us, we want to be honest, but I think that that necessary, we need to look at it. So if somebody comes out with an ugly outfit, if you didn't ask my opinion, is it necessary for me to share that you look like a mess?
Right.
No, it's not, because guess what? I'm not the fashion police, right? If somebody's breath is kicking, is it necessary to tell them? Well, to Zion's point, if you don't have gum in your pocket where you can help them, somebody might say, well, no, I can't help them, but maybe they can go find some, or at least they can go to the bathroom and rinse their mouth, like something.
Water might not help them.
I don't think water gonna help.
I don't know.
Just eat something.
Eat something.
Go drink
Eat
some
bread.
juice or something, please.
Something.
Yeah.
And even with the thing with the child or the baby, I've had situations where somebody said, "Oh, my baby," and I'm like, "Oh, look at the baby. Isn't she cute? Oh, look at the little fat legs. Look at the chubby cheeks." I'll say something like that because I try not to tell lies.
Yeah.
Now, am I ever going to say somebody's baby's ugly? No. I had 4 of them, and somebody might have thought they were ugly. That would have been a problem if you had told me my baby was ugly. That would have been a problem.
I don't think.
And I was younger too.
Well.
Yeah, I was younger, so I didn't have the emotional intelligence I have now. That would have been a problem. But so as we talk about being honest, I think the thing that we need to say is look at the quality of the relationship.
For sure.
Are you a person that they can receive it from?
Exactly.
Right? Do you have enough credibility and receipts with them to speak on their relationship? Now, if you just met them you in the office, girl, let me tell you, I saw your man. No, stop. Because first of all, you don't really know what's going on.
Right.
So you're assuming, unless you actually saw the person in the act of active fornication, intimacy.
Right.
Just because you saw him dancing with a girl or you saw him go into a hotel room, they could have gone in there and did Bible study. You don't know.
Could have.
Right. So let's look at the quality of the relationship. Let's look at trying to make sure that it's mutually beneficial.
Yeah.
Let's not just think about ourselves.
Right. For sure.
In other words, if you love somebody and you see them driving and they're getting ready to go off the cliff and they don't know it. Yeah. For me, if I love you, I'll risk you being mad at me to stop you from going over the cliff. You can never speak to me again.
For sure.
But I'm not going to sit there and go, well, I don't want to say nothing. And she get mad and then you go over the cliff and die.
No, for sure.
Right.
That's how much I love you.
Yes.
No, for sure.
To make sure you don't hurt yourself.
Yeah. So
100%.
we're going to not cap. We're not. And please, if anybody knows where cap came from, because the people at the table that claim they invented it, they don't know. Please let us know where cap came from. I would love to know that. Why is it cap? It doesn't matter.
And let's be clear, you're not 36 and just one day thought I'm gonna make up a word cap. Like, so in the
I didn't
line.
say
like,
that they were
like you're not like
if
if I see you in a community group, you know what? Never mind. I'm not gonna remember.
I didn't say they were aged 36. Your whole premise was if somebody was within that age, they wouldn't use the terminology of cap.
I didn't necessarily say you.
So y'all, just so y'all know, when y'all see this out, I'm gonna call this episode "Capping About Capping." Just so you know. Capping about capping.
Capping about capping.
All right, you guys,
I love
listen.
it.
So let's keep the conversation brewing. We got to ask questions. We got to listen to understand. And then we have to acknowledge the unique challenges that each generation faces. And then, y'all, we got to look for that common ground because trust me, it is there. So until the next time, keep sipping and keep talking. Tune in next week for another thought-provoking and entertaining conversation that's bridging the generational gap one cup at a time. See you next week.